Celebrating a big event in life can be a big decision. We've got an expert here that's going to make sure you make the right decision. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Your Little Castle Show. Yours truly, Carter Rethwish, a.k.a. the Cardinal Cowboy. We've got an expert guest here in the building that's going to share with us a little bit about how many people have been to a venue and we're like, who's running this place? Something's not right. But if you've been to a venue that's run correctly, I happen to have recently been to your venue for an event. I was emceeing for Dementia Life, my buddy Tim, and I look over there and you're a master of many things. He's the master of ceremonies too, everybody. The MC for the event, the DJ, and the owner of the venue with your wife, Lindsay. Is that correct?
Correct.
And it was an unbelievable event. I mean,
we made a lot of money that night, raised a lot of money for Dementia Life. It was incredible.
Did it really? Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. But yeah, the venue's just ornate, beautiful. Just the setup, everything is dynamite.
Thank you.
And that's what you're looking for, to have these kinds of fundraisers, weddings, bar mitzvahs, I guess, you name it.
Any celebration, any
anniversary.
Right.
Okay.
Any of them.
Great job you guys do there, and it was a lot of fun. So with that, let's give a shout out, because you might need some furniture, maybe furniture but Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle, where you might be celebrating and you moved in after a wedding that you had or a big event you had at Tom's place. We got to put the little castle in your little castle. There it is. Brett likes that. And then we're going to jump over here and put up. Here's the venue. Here's the information. You guys have got everything put together here for people, including a nice Facebook page. Right. There it is. And you've been doing this for this particular venue. You started it 2 years ago, and you've been in the industry now for 35 years.
35 years. I started out as a wedding DJ. 14 years old.
14 years old.
Actually doing paid DJ gigs. It's been incredible.
Okay. I bet you had some different kind of equipment back then.
Oh, yeah. A lot different. A lot heavier, too.
Yeah, that's true. I remember. Buddy says, I remember now why. PJ, you're one of my best friends for life. He says, you can have those speakers. They were this big.
Yeah. Right.
I'm holding my hand down here. They were this big, and somebody actually stole them out of my garage one time. I'm like, hey, man, you might as well keep those things.
Yeah,
We tracked them down. They brought them back. But yeah, now they're a little more compact, and you got the Bose thing.
Right.
But you've seen the technology. We're going to talk about technology a little bit too.
Absolutely.
But can I give people an indication how old you are? Well, just
sure,
do the math.
Sure.
35
yeah, you do the math.
14.
I'm 54.
54. I'm 53.
Right.
And you graduated 89. I graduated 90.
Right.
So that gives you a little bit of indication. But if that's when you started on this, you're good. That's why when I got to know you a little bit at the event, I was like, and when you came here today, I'm like, I know you from somewhere, and you just did a great job. The master of ceremonies, like the MC, we say
right.
MC, but it's technically that's an abbreviation for master of ceremonies. Let me get the right title up there, but you just ran this thing well, and I just could tell. Okay, we're in good hands, because sometimes I have to take over as MC and be like, all right, we got this and we got that, but you run the whole show, so you know how to set the venue up to get everything established, scheduling, booking, configured for the setup. And when the event happens, you run
I'm there to kind of direct the show. So, yeah, absolutely. Just every aspect. Weddings have always been a passion of mine. Just the energy that's in the room, you know, the couple there to celebrate with their friends and family. And you want to see that go off. That's been a dream of this bride for, her entire life.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of pressure there, but we want to make sure it goes off without a hitch. So, just that experience over the years has really made a difference in the way that I'm able to run a wedding. So.
Well, and we are always interested. How did you get started with this? You said when you were 14. Dad was a musician too, and then you went. Did you get a kickoff at the Broadcast Center originally back?
So yeah, I did actually right out of high school. Ended up going to Broadcast Center. Did a little bit of work at some local radio stations and that sort of thing. So. It's been a crazy ride, and it's just been a passion of mine since I was 14, 15 years old. So
Yeah, well, give us a little bit of the path then. And then did you go off and DJ and MC at different venues? For
So I did.
35 years and
I started
ultimately
out actually. I guess some of my first gigs were probably school pep rallies and things like that, and then ended up getting into doing. There were parties at Shoots and Ground out in Warrenton, so that's where a lot of them started. Different KC halls and things like that. And it started out as, hey, I know a guy that can do this for me, and it turned out to be, a passion, and just something that I took off and ran with, and eventually, I think my dad got my first paying gig for me, and I was I was 15 years old.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was 15, and I'm doing a New Year's Eve party for a retirement community in Warrenton, and I thought,
Okay.
I'm going, Dad, how in the world am I going to pull this off? Like, I don't know what they want to listen to. We did some shopping. We bought a bunch of albums, and he went through and marked on them. This is slow country, fast country, polka, waltz. We just kind of went through the whole
Got the whole.
genre of everything, and come that evening, I put that first song on, and everybody hits the dance floor, and I'm like, oh my, this is incredible.
This is fun. Yeah, you get to.
And I put the next song on, and the next song, and the dance floor is packed, and I'm like, wow. And from there, it just took off.
So you're talking about going back to the olden days when you literally had vinyl albums.
Vinyl albums, absolutely.
I bought
Crates of
I
albums.
bought what did they call that? A fifth, or what was the smaller version?
The
of it?
45s.
For the 45.
Right.
And I had Electric Avenue.
Electric Avenue, right.
Back in the day. And then it went to tape.
Right.
Give us the evolution there. How has the whole industry evolved? And now it's all digital and on an MP4.
Right.
And you get a subscription to the cloud version.
Right,
whatever.
right,
How do you-
yeah. So we have, it did. It started out. I started out with the albums, and then it did go to tape for a little bit, and then your CDs and that, and you get your equipment evolved as well, because you went from turntables to CDJs, and now most everything is all digital off of a laptop, and you use a controller which simulates your vinyl albums and that, but it's completely changed. And yeah, you're right. Subscriptions now to music services and things like that have kind of taken over. So it's music. You have a lot more access to the music nowadays than we ever did.
And to get a little bit of that, I've seen a couple of my buddies are DJs, and we go down to patios, whatever.
Right.
But they literally they're these little silver-looking things that are
Right.
built into the turntable, and you literally will go like this, like
Right.
you used to do with the old record.
Exactly. Just you manipulate it just the same as a record.
Well,
It's pretty crazy.
taking us back to the Run DMC days.
Right.
I interviewed DMC many years ago. I
Exactly.
sang to him, "It's tricky to rock around." He goes,
Right.
"Hey, what's that song?" I can't sing more than 8 seconds. You might get confused, think that
Oh,
was
right.
Run DMC, but he goes, that's about life is tough. He goes, yeah, that's what it's about. But life is music, and it all
Right.
connects us, and we love. So your first jubilation, you really got to feel what it was like to be in front of
Oh,
the crowd and get the
absolutely.
crowd going. You're like, this is fun. I like being the MC,
Right.
the DJ.
And it wasn't, like I said, it was, at 14 and 15, back in the 80s, I was listening to, AC/DC and Run DMC and those guys. So, playing a New Year's Eve party for a retirement community was a challenge, because I had no idea what to play, other than what my dad had kind of set me up with, and kind of pointed me in that direction. Okay, this is what you're going to start with, and this is how it's going to flow. And it was just an incredible. I ended up playing there for several more years after that, like every New Year's Eve for probably the next 6 years or so. So it was just incredible.
You became the designated MC for the event.
I really
years
did,
to
yeah.
come.
Yeah.
DJ. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, I've done some MC. Tell me, let's getting off my normalistic questions here.
Sure.
It takes a certain personality. I'll never forget. We were doing a fundraiser for the baseball team, and there's 15 guys on the team, or 20 guys altogether on the team,
Right.
and everybody kind of looked around like, who's going to MC this thing? Everybody goes, Cowboy. He'll be the guy that has that personality, that energy to do that.
Right.
Do you feel like that's kind of something you were born with, or something you developed, or just an interest you had? How did you?
It was definitely not something I was born with.
Okay.
It was. I remember early on in high school I went out of my comfort zone and took a public speaking class.
Okay.
And at first, you know, it was the scariest thing I'd ever encountered. But after I got up there and did a few of them, it really wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. And then you get up in front of a crowd with music, though. That's a totally different scene, totally different atmosphere. And you know, you're kind of just going with that vibe of the room, so it just becomes more natural at that point.
Yeah, you can kind of feel the energy of the crowd, and then you're,
Right.
you're in front of an
Kind
audience.
of settle down, and yeah.
And
Right.
you get that energy. I mean, you
Right.
get feedback. My DJ buddies tell me, yeah, you get the crowd going, man. You can see, and the response you get based on the song. Like,
Exactly.
The song is like,
Right.
they're not for that audience. All of a sudden, the dance floor clears, and you're
Exactly.
like,
You're
hold on, everybody, we're cutting that song off, mix it in another song. And
Right.
You do that all.
Right.
Control
Pick
the
it back up.
Control the vibe of the party and everything that goes on there. What's your passion for this? I mean, how did this develop for you? I mean, now it's turned into something. Obviously, this is a full-time deal for you.
Oh, yeah,
got your own venue.
Right.
Tell me about the passion that you have for this.
Well, like I said, you know, doing the weddings, you know, I've done probably, you know, 1,000 weddings literally over the career, and just seeing the couple and the families and that energy level that they bring and the overall experience at the end of the night when they're all, they don't want to leave.
Right.
They never want to leave.
Parties.
One more, you know, that's you always get that. And that's what really fuels it. I mean, just to help create that atmosphere for that moment that they're going to remember forever. So,
yeah, and there's memories. I mean, how many often people bringing in their cameras and they're recording,
Right.
and the lights are going. I mean, tell me a little bit about the setup you have. And you travel. I guess you used to travel.
as far as the DJ stuff,
DJ stuff.
yeah.
Now you've got everything pretty well set up. I'm looking at your pictures, and we're going to show
Right.
a little bit about the venue. But
Right.
you've got the lights, the lighting,
the lighting, everything. We have a whole in-house system that I use, and yes, it's been designed over the last 35 years basically. You find out what the latest and greatest in equipment, and that's and I stay on top of all that. I'm a nerd about that. So sound quality is amazing, lights, just the whole atmosphere that we bring to the Marquee just amplifies the energy that's already there.
Well, it seems like you obviously have this set for the type of vibe you're trying to get for your guests so that they enjoy
Right.
their event. This is a one-time deal for most. Well, I guess they say that, what is it, 50%?
Right.
Can you tell which ones are going to make it and which ones are not? You could say.
Well,
hey, but this is you're creating a memory for somebody, and
Right.
this is a key element, key event for their.
Oh, absolutely.
How many people skip the ceremony at the church, but then go to the
Right.
go to the
They go to
party,
the reception,
the
right.
reception, because that's where
Exactly.
the fun is at.
Right.
And you're creating this event for somebody to remember forever. How often do people come up to you and go, "What a great event! That was so cool. Thank you for the memory."
We get that a lot, and a lot of that has to do with the attention to detail that Lindsay and I both put into it. From the very beginning of the night when we open the doors for the cocktail hour, we've got our background music playing, we've got our servers and our bartenders all in place and ready to serve as the guests are coming in, and the energy level that we bring to that first part, everybody's kind of coming from the ceremony to the party, and so they're on that walk over. They're kind of getting in that mood. So we have to continue that as they enter. So we want everything to be lively and inviting to them, so that they come in and feel that energy as they're arriving.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, because you are making an event that will be something they'll cherish for the rest of their life, and something memorable. You did an incredible job for the event that I was at, and we're going to play a little clip of that too here coming up. But before we take a quick break here, I want to share with everybody, you can tell if somebody's done good if they pay attention to their reviews. We've recently had a reason to go out and say, hey, let's get people are asking about the reviews. We see your thing. If you don't have a lot of great reviews, people wonder what's going on. But I put up on the wall there on our far right that's our 9-foot
Right.
diameter TV wall. Look at that, 25 reviews, all 5s. This has got to make you feel good about what people have to say here. Both
Absolutely.
Tom and Lindsay were super accommodating, went above and beyond for my daughter's wedding. This is the most beautiful wedding venue in St. Charles. They offered not just the venue, but the chapel and the photographer and the DJ, which are all amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's from Sarah. Does it make you feel good to see these kinds of
Absolutely. That's what we're shooting for every single time. We care about the event. We're just as invested as they are, and when they walk away, that's exactly what we want. We want their friends and their family and to send us those referrals, and we want to do it again and again and again.
Yeah, that's the way to build a business, is get great referral business, and then check out your website. Hopefully they'll see your interview here on ABC and say, hey, these guys are legit. We can talk about them. They got a cool Vogue picture over there. I'll put that up for everybody. Is this part of you? People can get their own backdrops and bring all kinds of.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Just make an entire event out of the whole thing. Very cool. Well, let's jump into some of our community stuff here. We've got a lot to share and some fun stuff that we get to take part in our community. Check this out. You might recognize this one here, everybody. Check this out.
All recognize this St. Louis icon. Our MC for the night, the Cardinal Cowboy. Thank you, Tim. Give it up for Tim and Mary putting together a heck of an event, man. I like the thinking Cowboys, right? I'm in the Midwest here, and a lot of times it's sports and fun stuff. But we got if you've got a cowboy hat on, wave at me over there. You got a few. There we go. All right. So first off, we got to make sure everybody knows where the restrooms are. Go out the side doors across from the patio near the town. You can see those over there. How many people have already bought raffle tickets? Anybody? Well, get those raffle tickets and the 50-50 tickets and the cooler raffle tickets. All three of those are good, fun prizes to help raise money for a great cause. The silent auction and items are available. If you guys see some of the silent auction stuff, there they are on the wall over there. The blind bourbon tasting over there.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com. And if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form, Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So there we go. That's the stuff we enjoy, and that was that. First time ever we've done a clip going away to an event, and the event was for where our guest is the owner, and the MC and the DJ
Right.
and with his wife. And you take care of everything. Catering's another thing. All of that is part of what you've got
All of it.
to organize. Well, then tell me. Let's do a little cost analysis here. I can have somebody come over to my finished basement, or I can go to
Backyard.
we won't dog any venues, but I mean backyard, right?
Right.
Why should somebody make sure they do this the right way? What is you talk about having guests, people, the proper insurance for the
Right.
location, and what are the things that people need to make sure that
Right.
they may not want to do that.
Right. So one of the biggest, one of the biggest things is, everybody knows somebody, and everybody thinks that they're an event planner and that they can do this and they can pull it off. It's a big deal to pull off a wedding. There are a lot of moving parts and pieces to that. Everything from your first selection of the venue that you're going to use, your photographers, your caterers, your DJs, the florists. I mean, it goes on and on, depending upon what all you want to provide. And each one of those moving parts has to work together and be on the same page. And that's the hardest part of really, is bringing everything together. So that's one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves in is the organization and the communication between all of our staff and our vendors, to make sure that everything flows as you dreamt it to.
Well, now that you mentioned that, I was like, there's a lot of moving parts here. And if somebody says, "Well, my aunt, she's done catering before,"
Right.
Well, if you mess that part up and the food doesn't show up or it comes out wrong or whatever, that's all part of a system. You develop the whole thing. You've got all the pieces in place, and now they're taking one of the
Exactly.
cogs out and saying, "Okay, you're going to put a different cog in here, and we're going to make sure that this
Exactly.
thing runs correctly."
And we do try to be flexible with that. We understand that some people had a specific caterer that was at their sister's wedding or whatever, and they want to use that caterer, and we will work with them to do that. But we highly recommend that you use our preferred caterers, and the reason being is they know what level of service that we expect. They know what we we are personally invested in this wedding, and we are there to oversee every aspect of it. So they're prepared for that, whereas other caterers that might come in from outside aren't as prepared. We've had caterers forget sternos. We've had caterers forget plates and napkins and silverware, things like that. And so there's just that level of professionalism that our caterers bring, and our DJs and our florists and photographers bring to that whole event. So.
Well, that's what we talk about. You have a system. I have a system right here. Somebody were to come here and say,
Right.
"Carter, I brought my own camera. Can we use that?"
Can we use that
I'm like,
today?
it may not even connect. I mean,
Right.
how are you going to get this in there? Now we're down a camera. This messes up the whole
Right.
plan, and we've got everything systematized and built. You don't want to do that. I understand. That makes sense. That's why people stick
Right.
with the guys who know what they're doing and choose the people that are doing this. Tell me a little bit about what it's like you enjoy, and I always make this point, but as a small business owner, this is a small business. Is it
Right.
you and your wife?
Right.
Core, and you bring in all the others that you've got connected, contracted, caterers, etc. You know the DJ real well,
I know. Right.
and the MC. But what do you think some of the benefit you bring as a small business owner? Because this is something that does need attention to detail.
Right.
And you get one of these, I couldn't even imagine. Maybe there are big national companies that do this kind of stuff, and you got a problem, you got to call
Sure.
a corporate support line. They call the second level, then they go to, and by the time the problem should have been fixed,
Right.
it's too late.
Or you may even run into a situation where you've chosen a bigger venue, maybe a hotel where they've got 5 or 6 ballrooms, and so they've got 5 or 6 weddings going on the same evening, and so you're not going to get that personal attention that maybe you were hoping to get. Lindsay and I are both involved in every event that we do. Maybe not both of us, every single night, but at least one of us is there to oversee your event and make sure that it runs without a hitch. In every aspect of it. So
If they want to talk to the boss, he's
They-
also the MC and the DJ and the
they
owner.
pick up the phone. They pick up the phone. They shoot me an email, whatever. They can get a hold of me or Lindsay at any time.
Yeah, I say even as on site, like you're there
Right.
at the event, you're doing the MC,
Right.
and they say, I want to talk to the owner. We got a problem in the bathroom or whatever.
Right,
It's like,
right.
Well, that's me. You decide.
Well, I'm not leaving the dance floor to
Right,
go
but you
take
can
care of the
assign
bathroom,
somebody
but
you look-
we have
there's
people
no-
right.
Somebody forgot their something, whatever. You can make sure
Absolutely.
the owner is standing
Absolutely.
right there to make sure
Right.
this gets done right. Awesome stuff. Well, as we finish up this half hour, tell me, what is the biggest mistake that you see people make when they're planning one of these things? There's a lot that goes into many moving parts. How far out should somebody plan one of these? Tell me
Yeah,
more. And
yeah.
how quickly can somebody put it together on the other
Right.
end?
So typically, typically it takes about a year to plan a wedding. I mean, that's a pretty good timeline to stick to. Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces that come into play, and there has to be a lot of communication between all of the different vendors. So that gives everybody time to kind of get a game plan together and make sure that everything runs as smooth as you wanted it to do. But the biggest thing is, don't take shortcuts. Don't, you think you're saving a couple of dollars here and there, but in the long run, it's going to end up costing you. You're going to, I've seen some horror stories out there, and trying to cut corners, like I said, caterers, forgetting, sternos or not having the food ready on time. So just while we're not out to gouge, we want to have a successful party, whether it, be the wedding or an event. We want it to run as you planned it. So
Well, that's one of my favorite sayings, and that is cheap. If you're trying to cut corners,
Right.
cheap
right,
can get very expensive. And that's because, again, back to trust the experts. Somebody knows this and has been doing this forever. They're going to make sure that the thing goes off. So if somebody had said, emergency, I've got a big event, so-and-so's coming in town, if your venue's available? I mean, are you booked year round? I mean, this is you're every weekend you've got one or two or three events.
Oh, absolutely. We're
Thursday,
booked.
Friday?
Yeah, we're booked up pretty solid. But I mean, if we had a date available and we had to rally the troops and put an event together, we could certainly do that. We get a lot of last minute birthday parties, baby showers, and maybe a celebration of life or what have you. So we can definitely rally and pull something off on a short notice.
And there's no excuse for a last-minute birthday party, everybody. You knew when your birthday party was.
Right.
And the baby thing, I mean, maybe not. You don't have a full year in that case, but you still something was going on there.
Right.
But either way, you can step up and get them ready and get them
Absolutely.
taken care of. All right, everybody. That ends the first half hour here. We're going to have Tom stick around for a second half hour. We're buddies. We're DJ guys. We love music. We love entertaining, and we're going to share some of the insights. And what's the biggest mistake people make? We talked a little bit about. We're going to talk about what you like about the St. Louis market. Stay tuned for more, everybody. Giddy up.